Like the entire global markets are getting obliterated everywhere. And I'm going to say it's really because of one thing. Ben Bernanke does have that kind of power, man. And, when he's talking about taper, they're all panicking. They're all selling off, basically. The speculation's out of everything. It's not just the U.S. It's not, people looking at silver. Yeah, silver took a major hit. It went down 6.3% so far. Gold down 5.2%. Oil's down 2.6%. Commodities took a major hit, but it's actually even all the equities. It's not just the equities in the United States. It's all in Europe. So it's, the Federal Reserve chairman's words are, like I said, he controls the whole damn world economy. But here's another flip side to it. Interest rates are spiking. And what the major media is not telling you about, that's bad for like the bonds and stuff like that, because the treasury rates are rallying, which means U.S. bonds are getting slammed too, right? But what I have to, what the major media is not telling you about that is if interest rates spike, basically there's no, you can't pay it. There's too much debt on the governments. Like in Japan, I think they're paying like 30% of their government budget just goes to interest alone. And they got lower rates than the United States. So if interest rates even spike a tiny, tiny bit, forget about it. That takes up the whole budget. Everything. It takes up the whole budget. So, their solution for this is going to be extreme QE. What's going on is the markets are actually reacting to a rumor about taper. It almost reminds me of what happened December 2012. Ben Bernanke was talking about backing off the gas on the QE, and all the commodities took a big hit. So they're talking about it again because, the big story is that he's going to resign and all this stuff. But the thing is, his replacement is Janet Yellen, more than likely. That's what I think, So, and she's going to be more so, on QE. Now, I'm going to point this out, and I was looking at silver last night, and I'm going to say a couple words here, too, because I was looking at silver last night about 4 o'clock in the morning, and I was like, holy shit, And, I kind of suspected it because Societe Generale talked about the $1,200 gold, and Ben Bernanke talked about backing off the gas. But, I almost look at it like this. Are you at the point of sale? Did you plan on selling? Like if silver went up to $30 tomorrow, $35, it was going the other way. Would you even sell it at that rate? I wouldn't. You see, I think anybody in leverage is going to get screwed. That's really what the problem is. Yeah, it's not the best time. If you bought it at 30 or whatever the hell it is, you didn't buy it at the right place, 35, 40. But the thing is, it's not something that, it's almost like owning a house or some shit. It's not like you're going to sell it right away. It's not like, that's why people used to get, I'm kind of going off track here, but, you could apply this to silver. Basically, a lot of people would be saying, oh, my house is worth $500,000, $300,000, I paid $120 for it or something. I'm going to an example, back when the real estate boom was going on. And, I used to say, he's like, well, are you selling it? No. Well, it really doesn't matter what the hell until the point of sale, And that's why I always say you got to keep more fiat cash on hand because you don't know what the silver's like a really wild animal. We all know this. They don't call it the devil's metal for nothing. But I just want to point out too, if somebody's predicting that it's going down right now or whatever, you don't even know. You don't even know exactly where it's going to land, and It's like the reason people are holding physical silver right now is for a catastrophic collapse. It's not going to be your fiat paper. See, that's where I think Mark Farber's right on the money with that. I know I used his name a lot of times, but when there's a real catastrophic collapse, physical metals are going to be the thing. It is going to be the thing. It's going to be, hey, you want it, pay for it. And actually, I'm looking at the metals like, not a speculative bet, but like a surefire backstop, and I will not touch that. I will not touch that stuff. I look at it like same reason you might have a gun or something like that. It's like you have to have a defense in your financial portfolio that's going to work as a last resort, to save your ass. And they say, yeah, because the dollar's going down right now. But, that's almost like, because the silver's going down at dollar price right now. But that's almost like looking at fluctuations of anything. Like, you could say this with cars, you could say this with, furniture, you could say this with real estate. It's like, do you look at the furniture in your house and say, oh, I could have bought that cheaper right now? That's why you got to not look at it too hard right now. Not too hard. Because anybody in for the short term, they're looking at the wrong thing. Now, I'm going to say, like, what's going on here, though, is that basically government bonds are selling off all around the world. The French, they got the 10-year bonds are up 12 basis points to 2.2. The German 10-year bond yields are up. The Swiss bond yields are up. The Swedish bonds yields are up. Indonesia, Russia, Turkey, Mexico, and Brazil. And also the Brazil stock market is down 3.4%. That's another interesting story that's been going on because they've been having a lot of rioting in the street lately too. So I'm going to say this, I can't give it to you like on a day-by-day basis because anybody that tells you that, they're full of shit. They just get lucky sometimes. But quite obviously is like the plan that's going to happen is there's going to have to be a diversion away from the economic conditions, and that diversion is going to be war. Now, I pointed this out yesterday, war, but oil, it goes up during times of war, and so does gold, right? It is a fact. And I'm not talking like, I know during the time of Desert Storm, Saddam Hussein got knocked out in a 100-hour ground war, which was before that was the aerial strikes that went on for weeks and weeks and weeks, right? But I'm talking about a real war. If you got like a real heated up situation where all these oil lines get blown up or stuff like that, or in the Middle East, you're going to see commodities go through the roof, oil and gold. And it's a postulate. It's not like a guess. It is, you look back all the way. Look at any real war. That's what happens. So I think what the situation is, because there's a lot of political unrest, like it's going on in Europe, it's going on in Greece, it's going on everywhere in the world, Brazil and everything like that. They're scared of political unrest in the United States. That's why the Department of Homeland Security's got, billions of rounds and stuff of ammunition. They're afraid the peasants are going to go after them and stuff. But, what they're going to do is they're going to create a bogeyman, an enemy. And that's going to divert the public attention away from the government. It's the old age-old game, right? Giddy minds are basically, preoccupied with wars. That's what they got to do. It's been around. It's an expression that's been around, back, when the English kings were around centuries ago. That's what you do. You divert the population's attention from the domestic issues by going to war. So I think when that happens, it's going to happen. You're going to see oil and gold go right through the roof. And when oil starts taking off, gold takes off, and when that happens, usually when oil gets in a hard bull run, the correlation between silver and oil tightens up like crazy. I've been saying this for the last couple years. Of course, we haven't had this war in the Middle East yet, but it's going to come about because I think what's going on here, there's like a lot of political pressure on people, and these politicians are going to want to survive, and they're going to play the diversion tactic. But in the meantime, I might even buy more silver. I don't know. Depends. I remember I bought a little bit, real tiny bit, at 30 a few times, but I basically bought it well below what it is even now here. So, but I might buy a little bit more. So, and I'm just not going to even think about this because I want to give the example of say the real estate market. I mean, when you buy a car or something, do you freaking freak out because the car is like $3,000 less because you drove it off the lot? No, you expect this kind of stuff. Like, in other words, I look at it like this. I wasn't planning to sell the car. I plan to keep it a while, right? I don't plan to sell the real estate. I plan to keep it. I plan to use it, right? Just like with the silver. It's like I ain't selling any silver till it goes over 50. And then when it goes over 50, I'm only going to sell a little bit. So this don't mean shit to me other than maybe I might buy some, So, And I also want to put this at the end too. Say silver was $100 an ounce. You know what people be doing? Blowing the money. They'd be remodeling the kitchen because, you know, they wanted a kitchen remodel. They want new cabinets. They want new furniture. Oh, let's spend the money. You blow it anyway. So now you can't spend it. That's the way I look at it. So, and, you know, I don't know. I could say a couple of things here, but better not. But anyway, I'm not, you know, I look at it just like anything else. You know, it's not something that's a day-to-day investment. And anybody that's telling you they know the price of silver is going to happen next week and it's going down for sure and it's going to go to this, they don't know. If you follow that person long enough, they'll be wrong. But we know in the long term what's going to happen. Catastrophic collapse. And actually this is what you're seeing. But it's not going to be where, you know, currencies are going to be worth so much, because when these bonds are going down, this is a very important point. When these bonds are going down, they're basically selling off the bonds, all the yields are going up. Governments are in extreme debt. Extreme debt. When the yields go up, that takes up all their freaking budget to pay the interest on those yields. Right? And what happens then? There's like nothing left to run the government. So what do? They print more money. So it'll play out. So just chill out, you know. Like I said, think of it like you're holding real estate, you know. It's like you don't like look at the freaking damn thing every day and say, oh, the price of the freaking real estate went down. Or you look at your car every day and say, oh, the price of my car went down. You know? No, you don't do that kind of shit. Chill out.